So I know it's been a week since this happened, but this is definitely something that I wanted to cover because I think this story holds a lot of positive information. Last week in the state of Florida, we had special elections in several districts, one for a vacated House seat in the state legislature, one for a vacated Senate seat in the state legislature. Now, both of these elections occurred in blue districts. They were districts that Vice President Kamala Harris carried by double digits in the 2024 election. They were seats previously held by Democrats, so it should come as no surprise that Democrats won these two seats that Democrats have held for quite some time. What should, however, come as a surprise is the fact that even in these special elections, which on average have much lower turnout than even midterm elections, let alone presidential election years. Special election voter turnout is usually garbage. However, in both of these races, those Democrats outperformed even Kamala Harris's numbers from 2024, beating their Republican opponents by dozens of points, dozens of percentage points. The two candidates, of course, were Rashawn Young and LaVon Bracey Davis. Young was running for the House. Davis was, of course, running for the Senate. And Young had an 8-point increase over Harris's 67% from last year. So he won with 75%. And Davis won with 73% of the vote, which is a 12% increase from what Harris got. So share of Democratic votes in the House district by 8 points, in the Senate district by 12 points. On top of that, other special elections that happened in the state of Florida earlier this year in April, they were in Republican districts, sure. But the Democrats also overperformed in those two districts. So all throughout the deep red state of Florida that Trump won by 13 points in last year's elections, which is not surprising to me, but Democrats are overperforming in these elections. Even if they don't win, they're still closing gaps that have existed and have been very large, I know, because one of them was my district for Gates' seat. But those gaps are getting smaller in Republican strongholds that have been Republican strongholds for decades. Now, does this mean Florida's turning blue? No, let's not be stupid. That's not going to happen anytime soon. And I don't want to hear anybody, by the way, as we get to the 2028 election, say like, oh, Florida's going to be blue and Farron's wrong. People did videos actually showing me talking about how Florida wasn't going to go blue in 2024. And there were videos people would simulate, hey, this person did this person did this, calling me out and saying Florida's totally going blue. I wish it would, but I live here and y'all don't, and I see what you don't. And I was right. Texas also, by the way, not going to go blue in 2028. So let's give up that fevered dream. It ain't going to happen. I'm not trying to be Debbie Downer, but I am realistic and I'm not going to lie to you like some other people do, giving you false hope. The hope I will bring you today, however, based on these election results from the state of Florida this year, is that Democratic enthusiasm is growing. Now, it may not make a difference here in Florida, right? We may not pick up seats that maybe we'll, no. But what it does mean is that there is this across the board enthusiasm for Democratic voters. And more importantly, there's less enthusiasm for Republicans. And this, of course, has been reflected in poll after poll after poll that has come out this past summer. Not just, again, in Florida, we're talking about nationwide. So where this comes into play are the swing districts across the country. All of those swing districts, you've got Republican voters that are like, I'm a little disaffected with my party. I'm not going to vote Democrats, so I'm not going to show up. Then you've got Democratic voters, uber pissed off about what's happening in this country, that say, I'm going to make sure I move heaven and earth to get to the polling place this year. Gerrymandering be damned. I'm going to make it happen. And independent voters, of course, overwhelmingly reject everything the Republicans are doing right now. So yes, that all does bode very well for the Democratic Party. Am I saying this means that the midterms next year are going to be a total sweep for the Democrats and we're going to pick up 200 seats? No. Could we end up with a majority in the House of Representatives with this momentum that they have? Hell yeah. Hell yeah, we can. And I don't see it going away anytime soon. Republican voters are getting more mad at what their party has done. Democrats are getting more mad at what Republicans have done, so they're more likely to vote, Republicans less likely, and that's what I'm saying. We have to look beyond just the numbers. We have to look at what it means. We have to look at the trends. And right now, even with the Democratic Party's approval rating being lower than the Republicans, the voters are actually ready to get out there and put the Democrats right back into power. So those approval rating polls for the Democrats really don't mean a whole heck of a lot right now compared to the election results that we're seeing. Thanks for watching, everyone. You know, we're inching closer and closer to 1 million subscribers, and we're aiming to hit that goal before the year closes. So if you aren't subscribed to the channel, please do so, and don't forget to like, comment, and share. Thanks for joining us as we head towards this huge milestone.